good, YouTube? What's good, beautiful souls? Damn. It's like keep falling. But yeah, got the light up again. I promise I'm gonna get this lighting right, y'all. But what I want to come on here and talk about today, what had came to me, is really finding ourselves, loving ourselves. Now I know I've talked about this in other videos, but this is really critical. And not loving yourself, not loving the good parts of yourself, but loving the bad as well, or the dark. Loving the light of yourself, but also loving the dark. As we need both to balance each other, to balance ourselves. And when we truly love ourselves, when we can love ourselves, we can love others as much as we love ourselves. As Yahshua, or as people like to call him, Jesus once said, love thy neighbor as thyself. But a lot of people do not love themselves. So it is hard for us to sometimes love others when we don't love ourselves. And when we can look into ourselves and really dive deep into how we are thinking, what we are thinking, and how we see ourselves. Because when we look at the projection that that identity that we are portraying ourselves as, we can ultimately see if that is a good identity or it is hurting us. And if that identity is true to ourselves, if that identity is bringing fulfillment, freedom, and that identity is authentic. And when we can really look at that, examine that, and look inside and find the parts that find the things that may trigger us, or the things that we may do sometimes, but not deny them, not suppress them, but love and accept them. As sometimes we may get angry at this, or sometimes we might start thinking about the past, as the brain loves to, as a lot of people do. And when we can accept that and love that and reframe it and work with it, not trying to fight it, as trying to fight it will only help it persist. When we can do that, we are ultimately self-empowering. We are taking back our power. We are not a victim to circumstance. As we know, we project it. As we know, every circumstances that comes to us, the good or the bad, we can take and reframe it and look at it in a different perspective, as our perspective creates our reality. So when we are loving ourselves, when we are having compassion for ourselves and love and acceptance, we ultimately get to project that out into the world and out into other people. Because how we treat ourselves is how we're going to treat others. It is plain and simple. And when we know that this is the only lens that we are looking through, our eyes, our perspective, that we are a walking perspective, that we are a walking camera lens. And what we see, how we see, is how the world is going to reflect back to us, so within, so without. So when in knowing this, you walk around loving yourself, you walk around knowing that you are your full authentic self, that you are truthful, that you are compassionate, that you are passionate. You will start seeing that in your outer world, and you will start being able to be more available to others, be more loving to others, have more compassion for others. This is how it all translates in our outer world. And it is so subtle that we tend to not think that we need to change within. Of course, changing within, people can view it even in the wrong ways. As yes, you can get your body into shape. Yes, you can start doing the supplements, doing the diet. But all that will ultimately not even work if we do not go to the root, if we do not go to the emotions, if we do not go to how we are acting, how we are thinking, second by second, moment by moment. And when we go to the root of how we are thinking, how we are acting, and what emotions we are having, especially if we are having patterns or loops, such as from the past, or just trying to control, as this is something I had to look into myself and still have to, as I like to predict off the past. My brain loves to do that, and I'm sure a lot of people do. And that can ultimately and I've talked about this before, but that can ultimately ruin our future, as when we try to predict, as when we try to have an attachment to outcome, as when we try to assume. I mean, expecting something good is not bad. It's not what I'm saying. But when we allow that to change our emotional state, when we allow that to change our emotional state longer than it has to, as terrible things happen, don't get me wrong, but that goes back to reframing it. When we can let go and express the emotions that come with the bad circumstances that might happen, then we are able to reframe it later on instead of holding on to it, instead of it impacting our life longer than it should. And we held that power. We have that power. And that all comes with loving yourself as well. Because when in loving yourself, it will show up in your outer world. And loving yourself will deeper your passions, deeper what you really love to do, what fulfills you, and not with just money, materialistic things, as that is only a byproduct of doing what you love. That is only a byproduct of serving others in the way that you actually love to do, in a way that you are passionate about. And we all have our unique gifts and passions. Everyone is good at something. Everyone is great at something. And the more we practice, the more we do them, is a part of loving ourselves, is giving ourselves that permission to be our full self and to love the bad and the good. As when just loving the good can be narcissistic. And that goes with relationships as well. We can't just be looking for the good in others. We can't just be only expecting the good in others, as everyone has their flaws, everyone has their darkness. And when accepting that in ourselves, we can accept that in other people. Not condoning some of the things that people do, as they are very violent and very wrong to do, but having compassion and having love for them, as we can't put ourselves in everyone's shoes. Everyone has a different experience, everyone has a different perspective, and we hold the power to change the experiences. We hold the power to change the perspective, which is changing the outer world moment by moment and second by second. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning into this vid. I got many more to come. I'm definitely gonna get this lighting right, y'all. It look dark as hell, but it's only like 3 or 4 here right now. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I'm definitely gonna be coming back with y'all with another one. We consistently posting, man. You know what I'm saying? It's what I love to do. And yeah, vlogs are definitely gonna come soon. Vlogs are definitely gonna come. But I love spreading this information. I love talking about this stuff. And if there's anything else y'all want me to talk about, make sure y'all leave it in the comments below. I see you. Love y'all.